Oh, Jineka. Oh, Okpe is here with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinex.
Good morning, Dr. Vati. How are you? Tundu, why are you so shocked?
It never gets old.
No.
When you literally burst into song.
And he was so serious just a moment earlier, right? Good morning, Tundu. How was your weekend?
It was good.
Good morning, Rufai. How are you? Great. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe.
In the United Kingdom, Queen Elizabeth II made a surprise appearance on the balcony of Buckingham Palace on Sunday as part of the final day of celebrations to mark her historic 70-year reign. The 96-year-old monarch was flanked by 3 generations of her family, to the delight of thousands who gathered along the mall for a once-in-a-lifetime Jubilee event. In Bangladesh, an explosion at a storage depot near the city of Chittagong killed at least 49 people on Sunday and injured hundreds. Many of the injured are reported to be in critical condition, with burns covering 60 to 90% of their bodies. The depot is said to have contained millions of dollars of garments, waiting to be exported to Western retailers. In Nigeria, human rights groups have condemned the killing of 30-year-old vigilante Ahmad Usman, who was set ablaze in Abuja, the nation's capital, over comments alleged to be blasphemous. Usman was said to have insulted Prophet Muhammad during a heated argument over the weekend with an Islamic scholar and other groups when an irate mob gathered and burnt him alive. Under sports, tennis champion Rafael Nadal won his 14th French Open title and record-extending 22nd Grand Slam after defeating Casper Ruud in Sunday's final at Roland Garros. The 36-year-old Spaniard, who has lost only 3 times at the French Open since his debut in 2005, is suffering a chronic foot problem which has prompted rumors of retirement. Against his ailing body, Nadal lifted the Musketeers Cup and is halfway through the calendar Grand Slam for the first time in his career. Finally, under entertainment, the high-flying Top Gun Maverick continued to soar in its second weekend with $86 million in ticket sales. The movie, which sees Tom Cruise reprising his role from the 1986 original, debuted at $124 million and is estimated to have already grossed $549 million worldwide, making it one of the biggest hits of Tom Cruise's career.
You'll never forgive yourself.
No turning back now.
Come on! Jeez!
Having any fun yet?
Well, let's begin what's trending with reactions trailing the tragedy that occurred in Owo Ondo State, where terrorists opened fire on worshippers and detonated explosives at a Catholic church during a mass on Sunday, leaving scores of people, including children, dead. The governor of the state, Rotimi Akeredolu, who visited the scene of the tragedy, in a tweet on Sunday, said the state's peace and tranquility has been attacked by the enemies of the people. President Muhammadu Buhari, in a statement by Femi Adesina, his spokesperson, said only demons from the underworld would have conceived and carried out the attack, while many Nigerians shared their heartfelt reactions on social media after videos from the scene of the attack showed church worshippers lying in the pool of their own blood as people around them wailed in agony. Let's take some reactions. Olawole wrote, "The anger from NSAS, the anger from Deborah's murder, the anger from the Kaduna train attack, where a doctor was mocked until her last breath, the anger from the death of 50-plus people in Owo Ondo State. Don't forget, channel this anger to vote in 2023. Nigeria needs you to be angry." While Victor wrote, "That Ondo State killing is painful to watch. You go to school, ASO. You go to farm, headsmen. You go to church, gunmen. You travel by road, kidnappers. You travel by train, bandits. You look for a job, no jobs. You are hungry. Food is expensive. Nigeria has enough supply of evil." I mean, I think that his tweet was apt, but also the other tweet, which is really just go out and vote, because everyone is saying at this point, Nigeria is a failed state. You go to church to worship. Did you see those videos, Tundu Abiola?
No, I can't.
I mean, it was horrific. There's one picture that was trending all over social media as well of a mother and her baby. You know, she was wearing white. Like, you can't believe the horrific scene that occurred yesterday in Owo. I am so heartbroken. I'm sure you guys have discussed it in the news headlines. I just wanted to share the reactions from many Nigerians. May their souls rest in peace.
Amen. Yes, we've talked about this throughout the show, as we should.
Yes.
This is a complete disaster that has befallen this country. And I refer to a Christmas Day massacre in Madala, this town near Abuja. It's actually in Niger State. And why I told you, well, you know this about me, OG. I don't watch graphic videos. I made a mistake of watching one then, which is why I will never forget that massacre.
Yes.
There was a man who was literally trying to hold what was left of his stomach together as he lay on the floor dying. I will never forget that image. People who went to worship on Christmas Day. And to think that this has happened again is just devastating. And that tweet about anger, you see, anger as an emotion is demonized, to borrow President Buhari's word. But anger is actually a very healthy emotion. Your anger is what tells you that you deserve better than what you are getting. It's just that it needs to be channeled in a constructive way, as long as you're not abusive or violent in your anger. Anger is actually very healthy. It tells you what you deserve. And if you're not angry, then I'm sorry, you're not paying attention. There is too much that is going wrong in this country. And really, not enough has been done, if anything at all. There's no reason that those people should be dead. And the other thing is, we always look at the government, we point to the government. Looking at this day's coverage of this tragedy on the front cover of this day, one of the riders is, please donate blood to save lives. NMA urges Nigerians. That's extremely important. We don't need to always point the finger at the government. Do what you can for your neighbor as well. Everybody who can should go and donate blood to help people, so that we do not have increasing casualty figures. There are people who were pronounced dead at the scene. There are those who are still fighting for their lives. We can help them.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Tundu, for reading out that rider. May their souls rest in peace.
Amen.
We shall take another story. Former Governor of Borno State, Kashim Shettima, on Sunday apologized to Vice President Yemi Osinbajo for describing him as a decent man who should be selling popcorn and ice cream. The former governor, who is a strong ally of the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, also took a dig at Senate President Ahmed Lawan, who he said cuts the image of a tomato trader and lacks the capacity to confront PDP candidate Atiku Abubakar. Well, the remorseful former governor took to his Twitter account to say that he did not mean to denigrate the vice president and Senate president, and that his remarks were misrepresented. He further stated that his words weren't woven to portray both Osinbajo and Lawal as unworthy aspirants, but merely to qualify them as non-threatening contenders. Dr. Abati, over to you. I mean, you know, when this story came out, there was that video, if you guys can pull it up, of Vice President Yemi Osinbajo actually in a popcorn store, and, you know, people were making mockery of this statement. I mean, it's so uncalled for. Yeah, that's that video, Dr. Abati.
Okay, well, I mean, you haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah.
It's political season,
Yes.
so we're going to witness a lot of drama, you know, a lot of hyperbole, a lot of argumentum ad hominem, which you may say is very unfortunate. I mean, former Governor Kashim Shettima was on a television program when he said the vice president is such a nice guy. Nice guys don't, you know, seek a presidential position. They should go and sell popcorn and ice cream. Now, I don't know when that video of the VP was taken. It's apparently an old video.
Yes.
But somebody went and dug it up and put it out there to show the vice president actually, you know, buying ice cream and popcorn. You know, good humor. But I think the more important thing again is he also has apologized for referring to the Senate president, for saying the Senate president looks like a tomato seller.
I mean,
I've been looking around to see if I will see anybody selling tomatoes, to see how tomato sellers look. But what we can note is that he has apologized. He says he doesn't mean to denigrate their persons.
Yes.
He was just speaking in his capacity as DG, Director General of the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu presidential campaign. Okay, but what we should say to all of these persons, either they are director generals of the campaign or they are presidential aspirants, is that they should avoid argumentum ad hominem, because that's not of any use to us.
No.
You know, what is important is sell your candidate or your aspirant. Tell us, this is what Asiwaju will do if you give him the opportunity. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, and then we can engage at that level of ideas. And it's unfortunate because Kashim Shettima, former governor, he has a good brain. You know, he's a very bright, you know, intellectually gifted person. To see him descending to the gutter is most unusual. So, but going forward, he has apologized. I'm sure that his sins will be forgiven by both the president, the vice president, and the Senate president. But hereafter, people should talk about ideas. Okay? They are killing people, they kill people in Owo. Massacre of innocent people who are entitled to fundamental rights to go to church. Freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. Freedom of association to go to church and on Pentecost Day, sections 38 and 40 of the 1999 Constitution. We want to hear his aspirants' ideas about that. The economy. Rotus came today and said foreign investors don't want to come to Nigeria again. There is, loss of capital importation. What will his aspirant do about that? So these are ideas that we want to hear, not whether somebody looks like a tomato seller or that the vice president likes ice cream. You know, he probably saw that video before everyone else, and he thought that that would be a way to just describe the vice president.
I mean, look at that picture. I'm sorry, but that was what was circulating on social media. Because, I mean, the stories from Nigeria are so difficult. I mean, we have to, have some humor sometimes.
Yeah,
really.
it was Photoshop. I mean,
of course, we can see that.
So for me, what I fear for Nigeria the most, apart from all the challenges we have, is the hubris of our politicians. We've got a political class that is so full of themselves. Even when you have the intellectual amongst them, the level of arrogance is scary. For them, they are better than everybody else. Their ambition is more than anybody else. And you can't build a country with egotistic politicians. It will only put the country down. And that was what was represented there. Dr. Bati, you said that man is an intellectual.
He's intellectually gifted.
He's intellectually gifted.
Yes.
He is. I want to corroborate your point. I was with somebody yesterday that worked in the bank that same man worked. And do you know what the lady told me? She said she was shocked. And this was somebody they looked up to in the bank before he left. So we keep talking about technocrats. If a technocrat can say this, then it's as if there's a certain water they give people to drink.
In fact, you hit the nail on the
once
head.
they get into power in this country.
You did.
Professor Yemi Osinbajo is the Vice President of Nigeria. It is the Vice President of Nigeria that you said is too nice, should be an ice cream seller. No even public decorum. You see, because we are lost in this shenanigan of political dollarization process that we even forget that some people that are in the race with you are even still holding positions in this country. A citizen just opened his mouth like that to say that to the vice president of a country. And now went further and said it to the Senate president of a country, the number 2 and number 3 citizen. Called the Senate president of a country a tomato seller. Calls the vice president of a country a popcorn and ice cream seller. And 3 days after, he now comes back and pushes it on the media because now we are the butt of their jokes. They lie on the media so much.
Quoted out of context.
Yeah, he said we quoted him out of context. It was misrepresented.
I mean, come on.
And they just think they can hit the media with their foot. No, the media has changed. It's not the media they used to know before. I'm sorry. And they just put everything and say it was misrepresented. That's why when some people made some speech before,
I know who you're talking about.
They said we took it out of context, that we didn't trust. What is all of this? See, if you want to serve the people, you should be humble, even in criticism. When they criticize you, say, okay, yes, but state your own part in humility. That's what I fear for the most, the hubris of this our political class. I don't know the water they are drinking.
Well, you did just quote Kashim Shettima out of context, and I'm going to correct you. What he said was even worse as far as I'm concerned. I wish he had actually said the Senate President looks like a tomato seller. He said something along the lines of he doesn't have the name recognition. He was trying to, boast about the name recognition of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and saying if you ask who is Ahmed Lawan, they're going to think it's your tomato seller. Ouch. For the Senate President of Nigeria. This is the thing. I just wish that these DGs and what have you will sort of curb their enthusiasm when they're trying to sell their candidate. You can do that really, really well without smearing other people in the process. That's really the issue. And rightfully, he's been made to apologize. And that's really what matters for me. Those words cannot go unchallenged.
No, it's good that he apologized, really. We shall take our final story. After over 7 months that a video surfaced online showing some school children reciting the national anthem in a flooded space in the slums of Makoko in Lagos Island, at last, some relief. The Lagos State government's Universal Basic Education Board, in collaboration with Project Zero, a social remedial project designed to track and bring out-of-school children back to school, have rebuilt the school, while Arise senior correspondent Oba Adeoye returned to Makoko to see the rehabilitated school and spoke to some of the students.
Now I can try to talk in English. I can try to read. I can try to write very well.
Yes, I've learned plenty things and used to write.
I come from Mamadoka school to enter this school. I appreciate say that I'm in this school. Thank God for that.
Oh, this is so fantastic. Congratulations to the Lagos State government. I'm so glad that they, went in full on to, rehabilitate the school. They rebuilt the school, and they also took some students out of that mess into other public schools. I mean, it is such an amazing project. But again, that is the power of social media, because without that video, we will not have known that these children were going to school in that state. I mean, we saw that video, we were horrified. All I have to say is congratulations. And, the school children, they look really happy. Some of them, I heard that they could not even speak English when they took them out of that school in Makoko. And now they're able to speak, like you heard Oba speaking with, some of the students there. And, it's all a win-win at this point.
Thank you, OJ, because this is so heartwarming. I always look for the silver lining. I have found none all morning. You just gave me one.
Yes.
We're talking about this appalling massacre, but hope springs eternal for this country. And Nigerians are such good people. We wonder, are we becoming inured to, murder, poverty? But no, the sight of children ankle deep in filthy water did galvanize people. If all they even did was share on social media, that video went viral, you featured it here, and now you're able to feature, and thank you for doing that, OG. A happy ending to this story. It's great.
It's good to see this, and also to commend those non-governmental organizations who made Makoko, a special focal point, and constantly drew attention, not just to this, condition of the schools, but also of the general community. The thing to say is that, well, there are many other schools in Lagos State and elsewhere in Nigeria, particularly as you move northwards, that are in very terrible condition. There was a signboard that was shown there, education is the best legacy. Yes. Indeed, education is the best legacy. If you want to secure the future of Nigeria, if you want to produce a generation of Nigerians who will not be carrying guns about, and who will be productive citizens, and who will promote the cause of peace and harmony within this environment called Nigeria. Education will be the best legacy, so that in the future, Nigeria can develop in many areas, other than crime, which seems to be going up in this country. So the Lagos State government and the NGOs, they've done well, but there are other schools that are in similar condition, particularly as you go northwards, as I said, schools where children sit under trees, schools that have had their roofs blown away, and the rainy season is almost here. Many other schools will be under similar circumstances. Rich people, those who are making billions, they can adopt a school. Yeah. They can make a contribution.
Absolutely.
Private citizen involvement in the education process will be to the benefit of all in the long run, in my view.
Well said, Dr. Abati. Rufai.
And kudos to the Lagos State government and everybody, that ran around that did the work for that school. But let's not forget 18.5 million pupils still out of school in this country, and the number is increasing by the day.
Yes, and that is why this project and state governments should adopt this type of project within their states to make sure that these school children that are out of school will go to school. Thank you all for your great analysis.
Thank you very much, Ojinika. Thank you very much indeed.
Sure. That's all I have for you on What's Trending Today. I'll see you tomorrow.